Okay, friends, now let's discuss the next question. So, check the question. A, B, C, D, E, and F, not necessarily in that order, are sitting in 6 chairs regularly placed around a round table. It is observed that A is between D and F, C is opposite to D, D and E are not on neighboring chairs. Which of the following must be true? So, the options are given, and this is actually 2000. Okay, this question had been asked in CSAT in the year 2000. We already discussed about different types of arrangement type questions, right? In the previous slides, we had discussed about different types of arrangement type question, and we had discussed 2 to 3 questions out of that, right? So this is actually another type of arrangement question. Okay, so this is in arrangement question, we can say it's actually seating arrangement type question. Okay, seating arrangement type question. In seating arrangement type question, this is actually based on round table. Okay, or round table questions. Okay, round table seating arrangement type questions. Okay, so this type of questions is very important. Okay, so here the seating arrangement question actually consists of, we can actually divide the seating arrangement question into two parts. One is actually the straight table question, and another is round table question. And here we are going to discuss about the round table question. So guys, before dealing with this question, you actually need to know certain concepts based on round table. Okay, so that concepts are very important to solve the questions. Okay, so look here. I'm going to draw two round tables here. Okay, two round tables here, and I'm placing 4 persons. Okay, I'm placing 4 persons here. This is actually the first thing that you need to know about round tables. So here you are going to study the inward outward concepts in round table. Okay, inward outward concept. So here you can see this is actually the table 1, this is table 2. Okay, so here you can see all the persons are facing inwards. Okay, here you can see the head of the arrows is actually facing inwards. That means all the persons are facing inwards. Okay, so this is actually an inward round table. Okay, an inward round table. Inward, INW, inward round table. And look here, the head is actually facing outwards. Okay, the arrowhead is actually facing outwards. This means that all the persons are sitting is actually facing outwards the circle. Okay, they are facing away from each other. So this is the outward circle. Okay, outward circle. So the importance of this inward and outward concept is that mainly to specify the directions. Okay, so here take these 2 persons. So here these persons left hand sides will be similar to that of our left hand side. Okay, and right hand side is our right hand side itself. But in this case, it's actually the laterally inverted. Okay, the directions, the sides are laterally inverted. So here this person's right hand side is this one. Okay, and left hand side is this one. Okay, so they are just laterally inverted. That's the importance of the inward outward concept. And the another concept that you need to know in case of round table is the odd even concept. Okay, odd even concept, that's very important. So here in the question, sometimes you can see the total number of persons, okay, as odd, sometimes you can see even. Okay, so if the total number of persons is even, you will be getting, okay, if let n be an even number, if the total number of person be n and n be an even number, then the total opposite, okay, the persons facing opposite, that means the person facing the pair of persons facing opposite will be n by 2. Okay, the pair of persons facing opposite to each other will be n by 2. Look here, 1 2 3 4. So here you can see 2 pairs of persons facing opposite to each other, and the total number of persons is 4. Okay, so 4 is an even number, so you will be getting 2 pairs of persons facing opposite to each other. Okay, or not, if it is inward circle, they will be facing opposite, facing each other, and if it is outward circle, they will be facing on the other side. Okay, so now consider the number 6. So 5 6. So here you can see 3 pairs of persons facing opposite to each other, right? 3 pairs of persons. So this concept is very important. Okay, sometimes in the question they will be asking. Okay, so if there is 6 persons, you will be getting 3 persons. Okay, 3 pair of persons facing opposite to each other. So this concept is very important. That means if n is the number which is even, okay, then n by 2 will be the total number of opposite pairs. Okay, but in case of odd, okay, in case of odd also, most you will be getting opposite pairs. But in most of the questions you can see, if the total number of persons is odd in case of a round table, then you can see a word equidistant. Okay, equidistant, all these persons are equidistant. So if the word equidistant is there, you won't be getting any opposite faces. Okay, you won't be getting any opposite faces. Okay, if it is odd. Okay, if it is odd, you won't be getting any opposite faces if the word equidistant is there in your question and the number of persons is odd. And if you see a question equidistant in your question paper, then there won't be any opposite persons. Okay, opposite pairs will not be getting. Okay, so this concept is very important. So look here. First of all, take 3 persons. So it's actually an odd number, and here you won't be getting any opposite persons, right? Opposite person facing each other. Take the concept of 5. So equidistant. Okay, so there also you can't see any persons facing opposite to each other. Okay, so in odd numbers, most of the cases, if it is equidistant, you won't be getting any opposite persons, okay, facing each other. So these are the 2 concepts that you need to know in case of the round table type questions. Okay, now let's solve this question. So A, B, C, D, E and F, not necessarily in that order, are sitting in 6 chairs regularly placed around a round table. It is observed that A is between D and F. A is between D and F. Now, our rules. Okay, our first rule is what? Read the question correctly, read the question thoroughly, and find out the keywords and clues. Okay, find out the keywords and clues. So, we got our first clue, that is A is between D and F. Okay, so just note it down. That's actually our second rule. Note down the clues in your question paper by using the symbols or abbreviations. Okay, look here. A is between D and F. So I'll be writing like this: D, A, F, right? A is between D and F. A is between D and F. Now the second clue is what? C is opposite to D. C is opposite to D. I used a cross mark not to show that C is opposite to D. And D and E are not neighboring chairs. Okay, and D and E are not neighbors. I use a slash in order to show that D and E are not neighbors. Okay, so these are the 3 clues that we are getting from the question. Okay, now we drawn the circle, round table, and another thing you need to keep in your mind is that here they didn't mention that the circle is actually inward or outward. The round table is inward or outward. So if they didn't mention anything like that, by default we can say that the persons are facing inwards. Okay, the persons are facing inwards. So here by default we can say that all these persons are facing inwards. So there are 6 persons. So there should be 6 places, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 persons. Okay. And look, the first clue. A is between D and F. We don't know the position of A, and it is too difficult. If you are assuming the position, then that may affect all other clues. Okay, that may affect adding all other clues onto our figure. So just keep that clue aside for the time being. A is between D and F. Just keep that clue aside because we don't know the position of A or D or F. Now take the second clue. So guys, when you get a question, okay, in a question so in a round table question, if the total members are even, and if you find a clue that is actually shows the opposite, okay, that actually contain opposite, that actually shows the opposite members, that clue should be used first. Okay, so if in a clue, if you see a word opposite, Okay, that means that shows an opposite relation between two persons, then that clue should be used first. So here I'm going to using that clue. C is opposite to D. So if I am giving C here, then D should be here. That is, C should be opposite to D. Okay, C should be opposite to D. Okay, so now we got the position of D and C. Now take the, so once you use that clue, then put a tick mark. Otherwise, you will be getting confused. Okay, you will be getting confused whether I used that clue or not. Okay, put that tick mark, and now check the next clue. D is not the neighbor of E. Okay, D is not the neighbor of E. So here it is D, right? So the neighboring positions of D are this one and this one, right? These two are the neighboring positions. So this can't be the position of E. Okay, this cannot be the position of E, and the possible positions are this one and this one. Okay, these are the two positions that shows these are the two positions of E. These are the two possible positions of E that will actually shows that D is not the neighbor of E. Okay, so these are the two possible positions for E. So you can give any of these two positions to E. So I am giving this as E's position. Okay, now take the first. A is between D and F. A is between D and F. So what are the positions I can give A? If I am giving A here, A is actually between D and E only, right? But according to our clue, it is said that A is between D and F. So this position cannot be given to A. Now, if I am giving this position to A, then A is between C and another variable. Okay, A is between C and another person. So it is said that A is the neighbor of D and F, but not C. Okay, so we can't give that position also. But if I am giving A here, and if I am giving A here, then A's one neighbor is D and one position is pending, right? One slot is free, and if I am giving F there, then A is the neighbor of F and D, and this condition satisfies, right? That means A is the neighbor of D and F. A is in between D and F. This condition satisfies, right? And the remaining person is what? Remaining person is A, B, right? Yeah, remaining person is B. So our circle is complete. After completing your circle, you should cross-check with your clues. Okay, so don't go for the answer. You need to cross-check with your clues whether your circle, whether your diagram, whether your pattern is correct or not. You need to cross-check with your clues. Look here. A is between D and F. A is between D and F. C is opposite to D. C is opposite to D. Condition satisfies. D is not the neighbor of E. Okay, D is not the neighbor of E. All these three conditions satisfies according to this figure. So this figure is correct. Now check the question. Which one of the following must be true? A is opposite to B. The first option is A is opposite to B. Is it correct? No, A is not opposite to B. D is opposite to E. D is opposite to E. No, it's not correct. D is not opposite to E. C and B are neighbors. C and B are neighbors. No, C and B are not neighbors. B and E are neighbors. Yes, B and E are neighbors. So our answer is D. So our answer is D. This question is very important.